representing not only Montclair, West Orange, Roseland, Milburn, Clifton, did I leave out a town senator? The 27th Legislative District, our own senator and sponsor of today's event, John McKeon, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much. Thank you. You are all beautiful. Hey, seriously, can you imagine now for the third time, and the first time without rain, that the Montclair Democrats, led by Chairman Brendan Gill and the amazing people that are a part of that organization, has allowed all of us to express our frustrations and our joy as we're about to turn the corner. Let's hear it from the Montclair Dems. Now, I had a chance to invoke the several times I spoke to you some lessons from history. One having to do with Senator Bobby Kennedy making an historic speech, teaching the young black South Africans that they could bend history, and that result was that apartheid ultimately went away. I spoke to you about a speech that Patrick Henry made at the Virginia House of Burgesses when he looked at King George, stopped just short maybe of treason, but told him, pay heed, or you'll end up like other despots. I now stand before you to speak of Thomas Paine. Right around the time of the Revolution, he wrote something known as Common Sense, and it was essays and articles, the way to communicate back then, as it related to why America should break free from Great Britain. And in the first of those essays, it was known as The Crisis. It was drafted, or at least released, on December 19th, 1776. It was very famous as it related to things that it discussed. It talked about that it was no time for summer soldiers, for sunset patriots. They were the times that tried men's souls. At the time when our army was beleaguered, that it looked like the British would win. 8 days later, George Washington took the crisis and he read it to his troops just before the Battle of Trenton. We know what happened. A great victory was won by the colonists, and as they say, the rest was history. Everybody renewed conscriptions. Men and women stood forward, and we defeated the British. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is no time for sunset patriots. Damn right. This is no time for summer soldiers. Damn right. These are times that try all of our souls, and just like our troops and just like our forefathers, we will step up and we will prevail. All of the speakers spoke of where we are now. Think of the fact, Brendan was nice enough to mention the environment. It seems like that's been just forgotten. We have an administration and a president who just ignores mainstream science as it relates to our environment, as it relates to vaccines, as it relates to research for life-saving medical research. He has put all of us, and most importantly our children and grandchildren, at risk. Well, you want to start booing? Let's talk about the universities, how he's suppressed their free speech. Let's talk about the media, as he's intimidated anyone that wants to stand up to the truth. And probably worst of all, he has taken the envy of the world as it relates to the Department of Justice and has weaponized it, and has even now taken our own military as if to intimidate us, and make no sense about it or mistake. He's doing it to intimidate and ultimately subjugate. Will we let that happen? No! Hell no! Now, I mentioned Thomas Paine, and if you go down, and you're all going to get some homework, I want you to take a look at about the fourth paragraph down. And what it says when he was inspiring the troops and the country, and he looked to something that happened in history and said, look, the British aren't that invincible. And he took an example from the 14th century. He talked about the Redcoats, the British Admiralty, and then the French that they invaded. And he said, literally with their flatboats, and then with the most unlikely of warriors, Joan of Arc, a 19-year-old, they beat the British. So certainly, telling the troops back then, so can we. That's right. And then he said the neatest thing, and so apropos to where we are today. He said, shall some Jersey maid spirit our fellow countrymen? Well, I know 7 Jersey maids that are on our legislative ballot here in Essex County. 7 out of 8. Are they going to spirit our country? And I know one in particularly, a warrior like Joan of Arc, named Mikey Sherrill. She shall spirit our country and our troops. Now, for all of you, I could ask you to come out and wield the most important thing that we have while we still have it, our votes. But it's beyond that. I hope to know how you're all going to vote coming up in a couple weeks, but it's beyond that. It's not time for sunset patriots. It's not time for summer soldiers. These are the times that try men's souls. I challenge each and every one of you to be out there, knock on doors, pull out your neighbors. Whoever's not going to vote, get them to vote and vote for democracy. All of us that are privileged, whether to be on this stage or as an elected official, we are a reflection of you. So look at us and think of yourselves. We'll always be there for you. God bless you all, and God bless America.